Hello beautiful Pisces, welcome back to Intuitive Energies and your extended for the reading from this morning. If you haven't seen it already, I would suggest that you go see that one first because it'll make a lot more sense to you if you watch that one. Now on the 24th I am going live to do a live stream for an hour. If you have a question for Spirit, but not regarding like, you know, am I going to win the lottery, stuff like that, I'm actually doing like a Q&A about spirituality, anything that I know, personal questions to me about spirituality that you may have. I'm going to bring, of course, my tarot cards, and we're going to have a kind of a three-way conversation to answer some of your questions. If you want to post it below, I'm going to pick part of the questions to do on the live stream. So if you want your question answered, go ahead and write that below, and you'll also be entered to win one of my gratitude journals. So yeah, anyone that you want. I've been posting some since May, so it's all in the description box if you want to see what those look like. As well, I'm going to thank anybody who has donated to the channel. There is a personal donation down there. I would like to personally thank you at this point. Everything that you do, regardless if it's just watching the channel, for everything else that you do extra, you are helping me greatly. All right, so I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did that anyway. So I'm going to continue until they tell me to stop. I was supposed to read what was at the bottom of the deck, and I did not. So let's see. Bottom of the deck, Empress. So we have, for this reading this morning, it all depends on your creativity as well, okay? We're just going to add that into it because, Pisces, when you choose to be within the light, you also help creativity flourish. Because if you're living in confusion, burden, and stressful situation, you have zero energy for creativity or anything to become, well, look at the lack of creativity. Just take, for instance, movies that they have been putting out for the last 5-10 years. It's all remakes or it's basically the same genre. There's not a lot of creativity in it. I've noticed that myself. There's just no, you have to really dig deep to find something with a lot of creative juices involved in it. And I think that the reason is that it's just better to mass produce or rehash the same old stuff, because I think people just don't have it inside of them to or didn't have it inside of them until this happened. They were too busy. They're too busy in life with these energies of fear, fear energies, and all of that stuff to really put any attention in anything that was creatively fueled. Every once in a while you have somebody who massively gives some beautiful creativity. I found a lot of it on YouTube. There's something I would like you to do for me. If you've seen something like out of this world, creative and original, authentic, that you find that does not have enough, you know, it's not known well enough, why don't you post it in a comment below? Please don't put any links because it will make it disappear, but put as much information as you can below about whatever you're talking about. So it could be videos. Like I said, don't put any links. My YouTube flags links or hashtags. So, okay. All right. So I love watching people who put creative stuff. Wow, 3 cards. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Thank you, Spirit. Of course. Okay, when you have all these energies coming in, all these negative energies, you have no positivity coming in. And then how can you pour from that? All you're going to pour back out is negative, fear, oppression, stress. So you can't pour from an empty cup. That's absolutely right. So you got to work at something. You are at the divine Y point. Look at you. Look at you. You are at the divine Y point. Port? Yeah. Portal? That's what wanted to come out. Portal. Point, portal, whatever you want to call it, you are there. Okay, so you personally, you're there. Like I said, remember, We always felt a little bit of confusion about the world around us, more than the world actually does, or a lot of the world. They just thought, oh, this is the way the world is, and didn't really think about it any other way. Okay, so we have the universe card, and I like the fact that we have this little spiral, the eyes. Look at that. I'm going to read that. All, oneness, source, divine destiny, evolutionary love, and laughter. The universe is designed to evolve all of life through love, light, and a lot of laughter. So all we've been talking about this morning, love, light, and laughter, joy, contentment, happiness, okay? This is what this is talking about. The universe is the source of all, the fullness of everything out of the seeming null of nothing. The universe is all-knowing, but with an elevated view. Right. We're looking from above. We got to look from above. We've been staring at things too closely. Okay? It's when you get obsessed with the state of the world, or they're showing me 9/11. 9/11. True. When that happened, people were glued to their sets. They kept watching these towers fall. They kept watching in disbelief. And the fear would just go round and round and round. The world just took a collective breath in and was not releasing any breath out. It was total panic, shock, and fear. Okay? And that's just an example of that. Okay? We need to move away from the TV. We need to shut it down. We need to get an elevated view of the situation. Okay? Trust there is perfect order within anything and everything you are experiencing from this limited aspect. Right? The universe has a hilarious sense of humor to make sure you don't take life too seriously, because it's only life after all. Okay? Okay, so what is my role to play in a greater story unfolding? What is the great cosmic joke? That we take ourselves too seriously? Probably, yes. How can I connect more deeply with you? What can you share about the situation from a higher elevation? How can I volunteer to be in alignment with the coming evolutionary shift? So again, it's an evolutionary shift. I love this. I love all of that. You are really in there. Spirit is saying you're in there. And from some people say, how can there be a higher thing for like catastrophes? And I've been asked this question before. There's a lesson in all. I've survived a lot of terrible things in my life. And trigger warning, because some people come in here and they like to tell me that I'm triggering people with my personal stories of life that I've experienced. Who else knows about triggers than I do? But I have experienced rape. I have experienced loss of a child. I have experienced pain and suffering. Very much so, at a very cellular level of this human body. I can tell you, a lot of tears, a lot of pain, and a lot of it I've suffered on my own. I've never asked for anybody to help me or dig me out. I have looked within. I have really listened. And you know what? I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, when I was going through all of this, that I knew there was a purpose to it. Every time I got through something, I thought to myself, there's a purpose to this. I may not know what that is yet, but it is definitely something. And I know what it is now. It is to be able to share with you. It is be able for you to feel like you have something in common with me. I've always thought that how can somebody talk about things, about pain and suffering, if they haven't survived it or felt it themselves? This was one of the reasons I needed to go through it, so that I can tell you that I know some of it, not all of it. I don't know what you've gone through. I don't know your experiences, but I've gone through my own. So, yes, okay? There is a bigger picture to everything we go through. It may not be apparent while you're going through it. It may be the worstest. They're giving me words that don't even exist. The worstest things that you've ever felt. In other words, to emphasize just how bad it feels at the moment. But when you look at it later on, there is something bigger to look at. There really is, Pisces. While you can still learn, while you can still see with that internal clock, that internal compass. There's still hope for everything. Okay, that's a big statement. There's still hope for everything. Okay. All right, Pisces. So now let's take some tarot cards and look at these cards that I pulled this morning, and let's see what else they have to add to this. I'm going to pull from this beautiful Herb Crafters Tarot. I'm going to read them as what the cards are, whatever I get intuitively from the images, not necessarily the book though, okay? Because I'm using them as clarifiers now. I just love this deck. It's so pretty and I want to use it. Want to use it. Jane uses all her decks. My husband is completely, is always surprised that I have so many decks, but he's always surprised that he sees them all being used. He says, this one I think you've ordered too many decks and you're never going to use them all. I see them all. Of course you do. Great deal of enjoyment. This is such a wonderful tool for me. So between the Oppression card and the Knight of Pentacles is the Five of Fire. Okay, so this is a Five of Wands. Absolutely. There's a lot of work to be done to get out of this oppression. There's a lot of conflict to resolve. And the Knight of Pentacles, like I said this morning, to get out of this confusion, a lot more confusion. So it may feel like it gets worse before it gets better. It may feel that this 10 turns into another 5, which means it's 15. So like 15 of oppression, you're going, well, how can it get better? Because in that 5, you're getting a lot of information that's going to help you move forward. Okay? I love this. I'm taking, it's Black Cohosh, perfect for a menopausal woman, which I am not yet, but I'm seeing it in my near future. Black Cohosh is it's a great herbal remedy to help with hormones, as far as I know, or what I've been told. But it's the star that's really hitting me in the head, okay? I feel like there's a glimmer of clarity coming to you, very much like the moon, the light that shines on the subject. By putting more confusion in, you're putting a light on what's wrong, what's going on, how things are not moving properly. It may be slow, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, that thing, it always gets worse before it gets better. Again, they're showing me when you're clearing up clutter. If you're clearing out a closet, you want to put order in it, you take everything out. Then it looks like the rest of the room has had an explosion go through it. It will always look worse before it gets better. You have the Temperance card. It's to put things back into balance. Okay? And by what do you do that? You move slow and you shine light on it constantly. Okay? You move slow and you shine light on the thing that needs to be looked at. You are the reflection of that light. I already told you that this morning. I already showed you from the window. Remember the light? You are the light that shines on the subject. How do you do that? By going in the center. By clearing out all this fog. Okay? Okay, so we have, we'll take this one because it flipped. The Ace of Fire, right? It may start with a little glimmer of fire. The Ace of Fire is the Ace of Wands. It's that spark, that light of recognition, that thing that tells you, you need to look at something here. Okay? So the moon is the reflection. The Hermit is, he's carrying a light. Okay? This is you. This is you reflecting that little spark of light, that little Ace of Wands, okay, to a deeper inner revelation. That's what needs to happen. And that's what is happening. Okay? So they're just explaining to you what's going on right now. And you're doing this, Pisces. You are. You are doing it. You. Yes. You brilliant, beautiful you. You are doing it. The Tower. I love it. It's coming out between the Three of Cups and the Ten of Swords. So needed. So needed. Let's shake that thing down. Look at all these beautiful mushrooms. You look at these mushrooms. Some of them you can't eat. They're poisonous. Some of them you can, but you need to figure out which ones. Either way, they're fungi. What they do is they take materials from the earth that's gone bad, you know, like fallen trees or whatever, or leaves, and they grow, and they make compost. They really do. They nourish the soil. Like, I don't know the ins and out of it, but I watched a special about it, and I was so surprised about how beneficial mushrooms are. Okay, so even in rot, even in this ended situation, you know, this spilled blood, this stuff that's like no more good, there's good in it. It is fertilizing, okay, the reconnection for what's coming with this tower. I love the mushrooms. The tower is like, yeah, you're thinking, you know, everything's being thrown down from this tower. This tower is exploding, and there's nothing good to come of it. Of course there is. Of course there is. A fallen tree nourishes the mushrooms that then nourishes the ground. So it's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. It's meant to be. Nothing is ever for nothing. This is what they mean. Nothing is ever for nothing. Everything has a purpose. Everything. The sooner we recognize that, the better it is. Okay? Don't feed the monster. Feed the joy. Feed the good, the happiness. Ten of Earth. So much better than when we started with the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords. 3 tens, okay? A lot of conclusion, a lot of endings, a lot of finito. Things are starting to look better. The Ten of Earth. Beautiful. It's the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is about abundance. And you have it between the Eight of Cups and the Ten of Swords. The end of a stressful situation. Why? Because you're leaving and you're following your inner path. You're following that Hermit card. You're following your center. Where are you following it to? To your abundance. To what's waiting for you, to better things. To joy, happiness, contentment. To a better feeling. Okay? It's not hard to do. It really isn't. I did it today. I did it today. I hate going for tests. I hate going to doctors. I hate everything. I felt nothing but peace. It was just a place to go and a place to come back from. There was nothing inside of me, no fear, no hate, nothing. I did. I came back, and I'm not stressed at all. Okay? You can work on this. You can work on this for different things. Whatever fears riddle you, whatever fears bother you, you don't need to feed them. You can find a way to feel better, Pisces. Underneath the deck, we have the Five of Water. We had this the other day, the Golden Seal. Remember this? Okay? So this is a very vulnerable time. The Golden Seal is very vulnerable, and it has a little bit of a fence around it to protect it. So shield yourself enough to give yourself some level of protection, Pisces, is what I get from this card. The thing is that don't shield yourself so much that you build a wall that nobody can surmount, not even yourself. You need to keep this open to you, okay? You need to be able to get the air, the water, and the light in. But you do need a level of just, you know, keeping it safe, but leaving it open. It's okay to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable and able to feel things, it helps with your creativity. The stuff that you experience in life, it helps build who you are. It becomes the person you were meant to be. And it also brings about great growth. Some of the pain, some of the things that what I was talking about earlier on, some of the things that you have experienced, okay, such as pain, and you're wondering, what is the lesson? This is what they're saying. So that you could become vulnerable again, okay? So that you're able to shine a light in the darkness that you felt and know the difference. That contrast is what makes your creativity come to life. Everything has a reason. Everything. Everything has a reason. Maybe one of these days I will tell you the main reason that I found for even having lost a child, the lesson that I learned from that. And you think, how could you possibly find a positive in there? But I did, Pisces, and I may tell you one day. I will, I'm sure I will. But not today. Today was about you. Today is about this. And I really hope that you've got a lot from these readings today. They're very personal, and I know they're triggering a little bit, but they're needed. They're needed, okay? The world needs to get over itself. You need to stop saying to people, stop hurting me because, you know, I don't want to hear about things. Putting your head in the sand isn't going to solve anything, and it's not going to help you heal anything. You need to look at it. You need to shine from the inside out. You need to lift this veil of confusion. You need to go back to center. You need to find the reasons for everything. And reasons that are going to help you, okay? And you're going to reflect light on people. You're going to show them where to go. And they're going to go their own way. The only thing you can do is reflect your own light, but they have to find theirs eventually. When they move out of your range, they've got to reflect their own light. You can't do it for them. Again, I'm saying that because I've said that for the last 2 days, 3 days. I don't know. I feel like I repeat the same thing over and over again, Pisces, but it's for a good reason. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that these readings really help you out. I hope that it helps you on your way. I do them to empower you, and that is all I really want for you, Pisces. I want you to be the most beautiful, brilliant you that you can be. The star just keeps winking at me. You be that star. You be that beautiful star. Take care, Pisces. Lots of love, light, and blessings. And I will see you tomorrow.